She's with me. The words were soft. Almost gentle. But in a ballroom glittering with crystal chandeliers and billion-dollar reputations, they landed like thunder. Every fork paused mid-air. Every whispered conversation froze. And in that suspended second, a single father with tired eyes and calloused hands stood between a trembling woman and a man who believed the world belonged to him. Before we begin, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in standing up for someone when it matters most, take a moment to like this video, comment where you're watching from, share this story with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this remind us who we are, and who we can become. The charity gala was the kind of event where power wore tuxedos and cruelty hid behind polite smiles. Golden chandeliers shimmered above tables dressed in white silk, and the city's elite laughed like nothing in the world could touch them. At the center of it all sat Victor Langford, a billionaire whose name was stitched into hospitals and headlines. Beside him sat his fiancée, Isabella Moretti, draped in a white gown that seemed chosen more for display than comfort. She looked perfect. She looked composed. But her eyes told a different story, wide, distant, like someone quietly bracing for impact. Across the room, Daniel Hayes did not belong. His suit was clean but old. His hands bore the faint scars of construction work. He had almost turned back at the entrance, reminded painfully that this was not his world. But he had promised his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, that he would be brave tonight. Lily was the reason he stood there now. Lily, who was at home with a neighbor, unaware that her father was about to reopen a chapter of his life he had buried years ago. Daniel hadn't seen Isabella in nearly a decade. Back then, they were just two young people with dreams bigger than their bank accounts. He had loved her in the quiet way hard-working men love, without fireworks, but with steadiness. When Lily was born, life became heavier. Hospital bills. Night shifts. A diagnosis that left Daniel raising his daughter alone. Isabella had drifted away during those storms, pulled by ambition and the promise of stability she never had growing up. He had never blamed her. He simply learned to survive without her. He only came tonight because the charity being honored had once helped Lily through a medical crisis. He didn't expect to see Isabella standing beside Victor, her smile rehearsed, her hand resting stiffly on the billionaire's arm. What Daniel did not expect was the way Victor leaned in too close. The way Isabella's fingers tightened around her wine glass. The way her laughter arrived half a second too late, like it had to fight its way out. When Victor noticed Daniel watching, his lips curved into a thin smile. There was recognition there, not of friendship, but of rivalry. Men like Victor always recognized men who once mattered. Victor rose, crossing the floor with the confidence of someone accustomed to clearing rooms without asking. Isabella followed, her steps hesitant. Conversations dimmed as Victor stopped before Daniel's table. The air shifted. Victor's hand fell possessively on Isabella's shoulder. It looked affectionate to the untrained eye. But Daniel saw the tension in her jaw. He saw the silent plea flicker across her face. And that was when he said it. She's with me. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't challenge. He simply stepped forward and placed himself beside her, not touching, not claiming, just present. It was not a declaration of ownership. It was a reminder of history. Of humanity. The room erupted in whispers. Victor laughed first, a sound too sharp to be amused. He spoke of success, of loyalty, of how some people only return when there's money in the air. Daniel absorbed every word without flinching. He had been underestimated his entire life. Poverty had taught him patience. Fatherhood had taught him courage. Isabella finally spoke, not loudly, but clearly enough. She said she needed air. She said she needed space. The words trembled, but they were real. Victor's smile faltered for the first time that evening. Outside, beneath the quiet glow of garden lights, Isabella's composure shattered. The perfect fiancée disappeared, replaced by the woman Daniel once knew, strong, but exhausted from pretending. She confessed that Victor's world had felt safe at first. Predictable. Powerful. But safety without love had turned into a cage. Every decision monitored. Every friend scrutinized. Every vulnerability weaponized. Daniel listened. He did not judge her choices. He did not remind her of the past. He simply told her about Lily. About bedtime stories and hospital corridors. About learning to braid hair from online tutorials. About crying silently in the kitchen so his daughter would never see his fear. For the first time in years, Isabella saw what real strength looked like. Not wealth. Not control. But sacrifice. Inside, Victor realized control was slipping. He followed them outside, his polished calm cracking. His voice rose now, stripped of elegance. He spoke of contracts, of reputation, of everything Isabella would lose if she walked away. But something had shifted. Isabella straightened. The trembling stopped. She looked at Victor not with fear, but with clarity. Money could build towers. It could host galas. But it could not build respect. She removed the diamond ring slowly, deliberately. The gesture was small. The impact was seismic. Guests watched through the tall windows as Isabella placed the ring into Victor's stunned hand. No shouting. No scene. Just a quiet refusal. Daniel did not reach for her. He did not assume. He simply stood beside her again, steady as ever. Later, as the gala dissolved into scandalized murmurs, Daniel walked Isabella to her car. The night air felt lighter. Uncertain, yes. But honest. He told her that he wasn't there to rescue her. He wasn't a hero in shining armor. He was just a father trying to teach his daughter that love should never require shrinking yourself. Isabella's eyes filled, not with regret, but with resolve. The next morning, headlines would speculate. Investors would whisper. Victor would recover, because men like him always did. But Isabella would wake up free. And Daniel would go home to Lily, who would run into his arms asking if he had been brave. He would smile and tell her yes. Because sometimes bravery isn't loud. Sometimes it's just 3 quiet words spoken at the right moment. If this story touched your heart, please take a second to like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more stories about courage and second chances. And before we end, comment the word brave if you believe standing up gently is stronger than shouting loudly. Some nights are remembered for their glamour. Others are remembered for the moment someone chose dignity over fear. And in a ballroom built on power, a single father proved that the richest man in the room is the one who knows how to stand beside someone, without trying to own them.